How come you're not in here, dude? What the hell?
All right. Here,
What's up, Jason?
One sec. All right, here we go.
I'm just here for the POAP. Oh my god. Come on, dude. Don't shade us like that, TJ. That's not cool. We got big things happening, man. POAPs are cool, but you know what's even cooler?
Live NFT deployments, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess everything we're about to talk about. Fuck it. I don't know. So yeah, let's explore what's cooler than a POAP, dude.
All right, let's get this thing going. So welcome everybody. This is the Rovi community chat number, 21 or something like that. And if this is the first time you are joining this community call, it is about this play to earn BattleBot game that is going to be distributed to the community. And so essentially when you play this game, you're actually interacting with other communities as you play. Very similar to an Ethermon type game, Corona Zombies, and so the next one is Rovi's. So what we've been doing over the last week is we've been testing deployments with the Testers Guild. There's technically about 70 members, but I think like 10 or so kind of dropped off, and so there's about 60 in there right now. And if you'd seen the chat, like right now the chat is private, just only for the guild members, but it was on fire. So we've been testing, people have been deploying, and then I guess the next phase of this project is to deploy the Supercharger. So that is going to start today. So just to give you an example, like what this looks like. So I just found a random plot here, and I have like a list of locations with deployed transporters. And so this is essentially an NFT that's deployed and decentralized from the platform.
It's so beautiful to see, man, on someone else's land but our own.
Yes,
right.
Finally,
it's so cool, man. Finally,
So last week, just by happenstance, good old Trey ended up winning a Rovi. And so if you were here last week, the bot was broken. It was like delayed for about an hour. And so after the call, like the bot actually chose a winner, and it ended up being Trey Waters. And so congratulations to you, man.
Thank you. Super jazzed. I join every week just to listen, but I still got to click that, confetti just in case.
Yeah, man. I think normally it's like a 1 in 50 chance or something like that. I think normally we get around 50 interactions on that confetti. So yeah, congrats for sure, man. If anybody deserves like more Rovis to add to their army, dude, it's definitely you for sure.
Yeah, man.
But everyone's equally, accessible to win one of these things. So what happened last week, Willis? We had a malfunction. So are we going to drop more this week or what? What do you think?
We'll see. But we had that malfunction, and like I said, it ended up choosing somebody like an hour later. Trey ended up winning. So we're going to do a live unboxing towards the end of the call here. So of course we got good old Popes to give away, and then and at least one 3-in-1 NFT to give away today. So a lot of stuff to kind of go over, a lot of stuff to give away. And one thing about the Popes, man, I got hit up like I've never been hit up before, on the Popes last week.
Yeah, I think it was because of the Samsung event that was going on.
Yeah,
right?
I think so too. Yeah, it was like the cartel member times 10, dude, easily.
Well, you saw that Unbox Therapy video, right? Where he jumped into Decentraland for the first time. He loaded into, Genesis Plaza, and the first thing he saw was the Rovi, the Rovi event, right? So I'm imagining a lot of people loading in. That was the first thing they saw, and then they're trying to understand what the hell are these freaking robots, dude?
Yeah, and speaking of scheduling, looks like Decentraland is having their town meeting right now.
Are they?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Man, remember back in the day, when we had these round tables, these things called round tables, and we were trying to solve the great troubles of Decentraland at that time?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man, because Decentraland was so, it still is so early, but you can clearly see all the torches laid out on the floor that somebody's got to pick up these torches and run with them.
That's right.
One of them was definitely who's going to organize the community of Decentraland, right? Like we got all these people who own land and stuff, but somebody's got to come in and like get people together and start having conversations and start discussing like what is it that the ecosystem needs, like how do we progress as a community, all this stuff, right? And we didn't see that happen. So it's good to see Decentraland having these town halls, you know, because as we understand, this is necessary, right? It's not optional. Like if you're going to create anything of value, any kind of ecosystem, this is like ground level stuff. You got to get the community together. We got to discuss, right? Like what's priority and whatnot.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Trey.
I got to add on that. That's so real. Like I didn't know what Decentraland was until you guys on the Block Runner channel. And then I jump in and it is like a fish out of water. I guess that's the wrong analogy, but I was like overwhelmed. And then I mute everything. And so there's a lot of stuff I missed out on, but by connecting with this group, I found out about Chang Gang. They've been super dope. And so like to have these two communities that really help has just been awesome.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that's sort of what like inspired us to like do that roundtable, is because we knew if you're going to be in the metaverse, it's really all about the community. And so the best way to communicate with each other is to actually talk to each other. And at the time, it was just a Discord, right? It was just people just chatting away and like speculating as to what exactly was Decentraland. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, like talking about Decentraland, that's the way to do it. And there's still a lot of problems to solve, right? There's still a lot of things to solve. So that's good that they're doing it. I mean, we're doing it. Ethermon's doing it. So I guess this is setting a precedence for future creators on Decentraland and other metaverses, I suppose.
I do think we need another roundtable though to bring in the like all these like independent communities are starting to emerge, including our own. And like you said, Ethermon, Decentral Games, everybody is like spinning up their own, community hubs. But we need, there needs to be like a United Nations moment where we all come together and like, every community needs to be aligned on like at least like a semi cohesive vision, right? Like, 'cause, this is a shared virtual world.
Yes.
So even though we're all doing our own thing, we need like a very aligned vision for this whole thing, right? So, having said that, I'm pretty sure we're like in the coming weeks or so, we're gonna have more of these types of discussions. Like we're gonna have a MetaZone focused community group, right? This is Rovi focused, but we're gonna have to do like a similar type of weekly event for the MetaZone ecosystem, which is pretty broad, right? So just throwing that out there, just so everybody's aware. We'll probably make more announcements about this here in the coming future.
That's a good point. You mentioned that. So when we do that, it's going to be like a separate community call that's focused on a MetaZone. And what we want to do is we want to bring on different creators to come chat with us. And so the reason why we're talking about like the specific transporter deployable NFT is because all the metas are going to be NFTs, and every single one obviously is going to be deployable. So, which is a big deal. And so the reason why we want to bring creators is because this gives us an insight as to kind of like what they're thinking in terms of, their perception of the metaverse and their way to monetize. And so we want to bring them on just like to pick their brain and really inspire others to create stuff and, jump in, because this is like Iman was saying, it's like the earliest days of the metaverse. And so we need to get more people creating stuff, because this is going to be like a new sector. Like, how Airbnb and Lyft and all these like gig economies like spawned up. Very similar thing will happen like with the metaverse, but you'll potentially generate way more money, right? Doing this kind of stuff, just because you have access to like the world population. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. We definitely want to. Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
I got to add one more thing too. Like what MetaZone does, I didn't even realize there was a need because I didn't understand Decentraland, right? So to realize that there's a group out there making tooling, like I'm a JavaScript developer, but I just get paid to do tech support. But JavaScript grows because of the tooling, right? Like nobody wants to sit there and like hammer out code 100%. From scratch. They want to use like something that helps progress that, like a React or a Vue, or list goes on.
You don't even know, Trey. I've been preaching that for the last 4 weeks internally. So you are so right. And ultimately, it's all about increasing the ROI of the developer, right? If the ROI is higher in building an app for iOS, that's where the developers are going to go, right? They're not going to go in and like build into the metaverse from scratch just because the ROI is lower. It's really that simple. So you got to build the tools. If there are no tools, there are no developers. So and good old Oscar, being the jack of all trades, he built a pretty fundamental tool that we're going to be expanding pretty soon. And you guys will see that white paper for MetaZone really soon, and then the white paper for Rovi's will come soon after that. So there's a lot going on in the back end, man. I've been a busy bee over the last 8 weeks or so. That's for sure.
True, dude. I can vouch. Dude, Will's killing it hardcore. I can't exactly lay out how hard he's killing it, but everyone will know pretty soon. But it's good news for all.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're a community, right? So like we understand what it is that we're talking about, right? Because we talk about this on a weekly basis. So the challenge is now is like getting the rest of the world to understand what it is the fuck we're doing here, right? Like we're looking at this Rovi transporter on somebody's land, right? Like it might not feel that significant, but it's a big freaking deal. What has happened here, right? Like somebody's created content that is now deployable on somebody else's land. This is the first of its kind in the metaverse space, right? Like so it's kind of like the track record of like what it is we've had to do in the past, right? We kind of have to like showcase it, you know, in order for like the masses to understand the potential, right? And so like the motivation behind all this is to inspire developers to do the same thing, like in their own interpretation, create their own verse experience, right? It doesn't have to be Rovi's, it could be anything, right? If you want to create like this social experience in the metaverse, create some content, you know, but, you know, leverage our tools to do that. And, you know, it's not so easily understandable yet, just because, you know, we're in the beginning stages of like showcasing what the process actually looks like, right? So that's what we're all doing here as a collective, and it's going to take time, but yeah. So Will has the unfortunate task of trying to explain this in layman's terms to somebody who doesn't know anything about the metaverse.
That's right. That's right. That's the biggest thing that we've learned kind of building out like anything in the metaverse, is that in order to really explain it, you have to show it. And if you're talking about things that you cannot show, it's just profoundly complicated to understand. I'm not sure why that is. I mean, if between you know, Oscar, Iman, and myself, we were able to conceptualize like MetaZone, I don't know what it was that we understood that's not easily understood by other people when we just talk about it. Like I don't know what it is, but maybe it's like technical understanding of how Decentraland works or how game engines work. You know, it could be that. I'm speculating here, but
yeah,
ultimately,
I'm gonna put in.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
It's a bit of work. Like it between the idea and the execution, there's a ton of work, right? And so it might be that some people see it, but then they can't take it that far. So I love the approach of like show it before you tell it, right? Because you need a little bit of carrot, just kind of pull them along.
No, 100% agree, Trey. I wasn't. I'm laughing at a tiny mouse here. I gotta download this. Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Let me see if I can kind of show everybody. So, like a few seconds ago, I was talking about being a busy bee, and there I am, a busy bee.
That's fucking great.
When the memes get flowing, it's insane in that chat.
Dude, that was really fast, dude. That was like fast. 2 minutes ago you said that. God damn. Holy shit.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Everybody's here for the good old Pope. Let me see. Did you see what it looked like, Diamond? I
sure did.
I saw it. Okay, so the first Pope, because you guys were talking about this before.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a Pope. It looked great. But the evolution, holy smokes, from like one to today. Yeah. Like go check my Twitter feed to see the first one. And then that was back in August.
Yeah.
And then compare that to this one and just tell me you don't think they hired like 10 more people. Like,
yeah, right.
It's insane.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It is a challenge to kind of figure out like putting this stuff together. And then, like I said, it's not the simplest. I mean, I think there's ways to do it a lot easier and a lot faster. But man, I do spend probably 1 or 2 more hours than I really need to on this stuff. But ultimately, I think it's, if there's going to be a cartel, right, might as well like incentivize them to actually like want it, right? Not just like, swarm for the sake that it's just a pope, right? Now this one at least looks cool. But anyway, so I guess everyone's here to figure out how to get one of these things, and it's the same as last week, right? You got to DM the MetaZone bot. You actually have to be a community member, man, to get one of these. Isn't that weird?
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
That's weird, right?
A little weird. Yeah. A little unheard of. A little shocking and appalling.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking about?
All right, so I'm gonna.
And I love it. There were so many bots in those first meetings. I didn't even realize there was that much of an army.
Yeah.
And since you guys have set all this up to be a little bit better, I mean, like more hurdles, it's gotten more real. Like people in chat.
No, I totally agree. I mean,
cool.
What's the value of a pope if like anybody can just go get one? Like I just don't get it. But it seems to be working. I mean, there's a reason why there's a cartel, and the cartel is sticking around because it's working. So, but anyway, this community is about filtering out the cartel and leaving in the members. So, I'm gonna tell you guys how to get one. It's DM the MetaZone bot. The password, and the password is transporter NFT. So make sure you DM
Transport NFT. You got all lowercase or
all one word?
All one word, all lowercase.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, so just DM the bot. So you're going to go through this verification process again. Just keep sending the password to that bot, and then you'll kind of click through and verify that you have these assets. So on MetaZone, you have to have an asset, right? They're free to get, right? You can get a crowbar asset, you can get a food asset, and then you're able to claim. There we go.
So I just posted a quick link with the Reddit post about how to generally get a POAP. It needs to be updated because I think I made it like last November or whatever, but it mostly gets you there with pictures and such. So
yeah, I appreciate that, man. That Reddit has been helpful. I've been sending that link to people asking questions about Rovi. I was like, dude, just check it out here. I don't want to like explain everything. So yeah, that's been helpful.
I believe So I have a couple things from my computer science days, and one is documentation. It's just like, come on, let's get some documentation in there.
Dude, so true.
That's what I'm here to do for the community because I love it. And, my memory gets kind of foggy sometimes, so it's good to look at something too.
Yeah, man, documentation is a big deal. Developers love documentation, right? And developers are the single most important asset on the planet, believe it or not. They are billionaires for reasons, right? So so we got to build tools for them because it's important. Green Chauffeur hinting at white paper. Yes, sir. When is that coming out? So the delay is totally my fault. So I think I can release it. I just need to verify a couple of emails before I can release it. But
which one? The MetaZone white paper?
The MetaZone white paper. Oh yeah, so yeah, I guess Green Chauffeur is talking about the Rovi white paper. So
yeah, there's a couple details we still have to like iron out, like for the Rovi white paper. MetaZone's pretty much, it's been. We've been talking about this one for a few months now, but it's. I think we need to revisit it like 1 or 2 more times, just to make like our last minute like adjustments, because like it's. A month or 2 in crypto space is like an eternity. So like we've had so many new like mental developments as far as like what we want this ecosystem, how we want it to behave, what we want, like what additional toolings we want to provide and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily it's like in the white paper in spirit, but it's not like very well technically explained. So we still need to revisit that a little bit, but it's pretty much like 96% done. So we should be able to release it and we want to do the thing, right, Willis, where we like, the thing we do. We want to record some kind of couple hour long session where we deep dive into our own white paper. That way,
that's so true.
Some people don't want to sit there and read,
so true.
this fucking document, right?
Dude, that's so true. We haven't even talked about that. So once it's released, I guess maybe like a week or two after, we're gonna release a video of us just talking about it. And and that video would be embedded into the white paper itself for those who are interested in like understanding like how we're thinking about the metaverse, and those who don't want to read it, which is probably the majority of the population.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a reader, dude. Like, but I would, I love watching things, right? That's why and listening to things. Podcasts to me is like the invention of a podcast is like a godsend for me.
Same.
I've learned so much like information due to the podcast format. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, when I go to the gym, I listen to podcasts, not music. I like to be engaged in all ways, man.
Same here, dude. So having that understanding, it would be like a huge miscalculation not to like provide that, to all you guys and to everybody, right? Like we got to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to try to get like an actual set going. So we might go to like an arcade or something where we have like stuff in the background instead of like this empty space. So it would be cool if we're floating in the universe like Trey is, but we're thinking about like, what is the setting important for us whenever we're going through this? Maybe a setting, like a loud setting, is a distraction. I don't know, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Do something kind of thematic, right?
Yeah. See, I thought arcade because, in a sense, like a lot of what we've done through MetaZone's history is like inspired by the arcade experience, right? Like that's like the analog version of what the metaverse is, like the 80s experience of an arcade. I mean, if you go back in time and see like the original metas, they're mostly like, three-dimensional arcade games, right? So I thought it was very fitting if we were like sit there in an arcade and like go over our white paper.
Yeah.
And
but then I thought about it like, dude, that might be just too noisy, too distracting.
Well, you got Ready Player One too. That enforces that whole like 80s game kind of thing. So I'd be down with that. But maybe pick like you're sitting at an arcade, right? Like with it would have the banner, and then instead of showing the screen, it's got you guys. So maybe not the whole arcade, but like Joust or something, right? Across the top.
Yeah, because I was thinking like the arcade like scene would be in the background, kind of blurry, like because we're gonna go all out and like recording this, and it's gonna be completely edited and everything. So I think even like the noisiness wouldn't be that bad. I mean, it's gonna be in the background. So but anyway,
so quick heads up, people are asking about the crowbar. It's kind of hard to type, but I'm not sure if people are getting it, or like a free asset to get the verification.
Okay, so actually let me just jump in. So go into Decentraland, go to 61-27, the parcel location. We're going to head there right now. And all you got to do is jump into Corona Zombies, or nearby is an Ethermon plot. Just walk over that Ethermon plot and you'll be issued an asset. And so once you're issued an asset, then go back to the MetaZone bot and kind of verify yourself again. So these are assets that's part of the verification process. So once you get an asset, you're officially a community member and therefore deserve a Pope.
It took me a minute to learn that Corona Zombies game. I am not the best at moving around in DCL. I'm getting a little bit better, but yeah, it was all on me because all the buttons, and it reminds me of the old arcade or old computer games where you have to sit there ASDF,
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I guess if you're not used to playing like first person shooters, you kind of have to learn a little bit like how to move around and like aim and stuff. But if you're a veteran first person shooter, I think you'll be able to jump in and kind of like and know exactly what to do. So the reason why we're here is just jump in. A little prompt will come up and say sign up, give us your email, and then you're issued a crowbar, which is an NFT, and that counts as an asset, and you can get a Pope. All right. I'm still not getting this. I must be dumb. Sorry. No, you're not dumb. I don't know if the cartel members get into Decentraland that often. That could contribute to the confusion. And then a lot of the cartel members, I mean, they just don't speak English. So there's that problem, my man.
That's not a problem, Will. What are you talking about?
Well, anyway.
It's a problem for us freaking Americans in our singular language speaking selves.
That's true.
So the interesting part, the reason I didn't realize that there were so many bots is when you guys first implemented this, I realized there was like 20 to 50 people still in the meeting hours after it closed. Yep. And they were like little chickens, like, what? I was like, what?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, man. And you should see my DMs, man. It's disgusting. It's like, can I have Pope, sir? It's like, no, you may not. But I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do? It's like, I don't think you could create a bot that's going to filter all these guys out anyway. So, but having said that, let's talk about what's transpired over the last week. So we mentioned this transporter here being deployed now in Decentraland. I have a list of about 100 different. Wait, is it 100 different locations? Maybe about 100 or so, or 70 or so locations that have the NFT deployed. And so most important thing to understand here is that you don't have to have land in order to deploy this NFT. All you need to do is actually talk to people and collaborate, and the landowner will allow you to deploy these assets. So why is that important? Most people won't have land, right? That's just how it goes. So, and that's how it goes in real life too. Like most of us don't have land, right? So what do? You have to talk to a landowner and you have to work out a deal, right? In this case, we kind of facilitate that into a certain degree. And sort of our vision of the metaverse is like when that collaboration happens and there's revenue generating on that land because of a specific meta, for example, then that revenue gets split between the landowner and the meta owner, right? That's what the platform facilitates. So now that means that anybody who's interested in like playing the Rovi game who doesn't have land can now deploy their assets and share revenue with landowners. So we've been testing this over the last week, and of course there's been some glitches, some errors, but ultimately I think we got deployments across the board for those who are testing it. So now we're going to start deploying the Superchargers. So if you don't know what a Supercharger is, it is at the very top of this tower, and it is designed to charge your Rovi after certain sets of battles that you do in Decentraland. And so once you charge, then you can kind of go back and continue playing. So this is another NFT that's going to be deployable, and then pretty soon after that, we're going to expand to other NFTs such as the hologram and what's the other one, Iman? The one that's next.
Replicator?
No, not the replicator.
No, not replicator. Oh crap! Oscar literally just told us.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute to think because I want.
It's not a fabricator. It's not a fabricator. It's not a replicator. It's
the Unleashed meta.
But that's not what it's actually called, though. But it is part of the Unleashed crew. Oscar's typing. Just give him a second, dude. He's gonna inform us all.
All right, I want to fill this space.
Well, after
as
the
a person
Supercharger, Oscar,
that doesn't have land myself, it's easier for the landowner to deploy than a person that has to delegate their transporter to a landowner.
That's a good point.
So just heads up, be patient. There's a lot more steps if you don't own land, just technically more steps, everybody.
That's a good point. And that there's a specific reason behind that. So if you're a landowner, you're going to get all these things delegated to you because you're the one with land, right? And so it's up to the landowner to decide, like, yeah, I want this meta, I don't want that meta. And so once it's accepted by the landowner, then he can deploy it, and all of a sudden it's on his land. So yeah, that way there's like no spamming of like content.
Yeah, it needs to be there, because once I noticed some of the feedback people had, you don't want these like code assets just thrown on your land or messing something up. So
for sure.
there needs to be a level of gatekeeping, I guess.
Yeah.
Permissions.
And then once it's deployed, I think only the landowner can position stuff around, but a landowner can add a manager, and that manager can also move stuff around on that land. So I mean, we're trying to make this as flexible as possible, but yeah, that's sort of like what's happening in the last week, and now the next thing is going to be the Supercharger. So Oscar says it's going to be the reinforcer meta that's actually before the hologram. Have we seen that yet, man?
No. What is a reinforcer?
I think it's the same meta that we've seen. It's just renamed.
It's in the versus section, I think. I have seen it. Yeah.
So the reinforcer is the meta to put loot materials into your Rovi to power it up. Okay. Yeah, because we toss around like different names, and we're trying to figure out a name that's like that makes the most sense. So it looks like reinforcers it.
Yeah. And yeah, this is adds on to the critical nature of this. By the way, this meeting is going to end, I think, in 4 minutes. That's what it says up here in the top left corner.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
But yeah. No, but I was just gonna say this is the critical nature of this white paper, because we keep talking about these new metas and stuff like that, but it's hard for everyone to conceptualize like what the overall connected experience is going to look like, right? Once all these metas exist and they're deployed and the community's hosting them, right? Like, because we're rolling them out one by one.
Yes,
right? It's not like a traditional game where they spend 3-4 years building all the content beforehand. They dump it onto this, this development, zone, which is like their virtual space without any limitations, right? Because it's not community owned.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like, that's the game experience. So our apologies again for like taking a little bit longer than expected to get this white paper out, because it's going to be important to understand how all these metas like add together to create this closed loop game ecosystem, right?
Yes.
So that's coming. But yeah,
and that's part of the reason I do the Reddit, to kind of fill that in. Like, as I only really Reddit stuff that's concrete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not speculative.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a concrete meta layout, which is like going to be the foundational nature to the game. But of course, there could be more additions added on top of that. It could be by community demand. If the community feels like there's some part of the game that's missing, needs more content, who knows, right? But yeah, this white paper is going to lay out all that stuff. So if you guys have questions, and we're definitely going to compile an FAQ as well. So like, keep asking us questions so we know what those frequently asked questions are.
A big question for me is the money aspect. Like, I love all this and I love the community, but in terms of play to earn, like, okay, the two things that got me to get onto ETH mainnet was one, play to earn, and then two, that it was going to be metaverse interoperability.
That's right.
Yeah.
Those two things you talked about on Block Run, I was like, oh yes, to be able to jump in and have that avatar soul that you kind of go about, like, that's key.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we think play to earn is going to be like essential, like a component to the metaverse experience. And we've been talking about this for so long, dude.
Fundamental. Yeah.
Like, it's fundamental. I think it's like the entry point to a lot of people's like metaverse like experience, right? Like, you got to have some sort of value incentive to want to like dedicate your time to this new, layer of existence, right? So we got to crack that code, because like in a lot of cases, in order to create play to earn ecosystems, it comes in the form of game environments, which is not easy to do in the metaverse, right? So there's this code that hasn't been busted yet in the metaverse. Like, we watched many people attempt to create game ecosystems in the past, and they failed because the nature of the metaverse is just, it's so difficult, right? It's so new. There's so many limitations. There's a lot of things that need to be figured out beforehand. So But yeah, I understand your question, man, because like, of course, like everybody wants to know how do you make some money at this thing, right?
Yeah,
I hear you, dude, 100%.
and it's like I don't know Decentraland, so I'm assuming it's coded in there. I mean, that's all for the white paper, but yeah, I still have questions around the. I guess the tokenomics would be the technical word. Right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and that's really the key for all play to earn games. That's one thing that Axie Infinity kind of did right. Obviously, they're I think generating like $1 billion or so a month or something like that. So, yeah, it's
really?
it's something crazy. So that is you can replicate that, right? If you're designing your own game, you can replicate that. And if, for example, Wonder Zone does a good job at that, right? They still have a little bit more components left to build out, but they'll have like a robust play to earn game. And Ethermon's another one. And so you're going to see a lot of this happening. And I'll bring these guys back in the next couple of months. Like a lot more games are going to be focused on this play to earn economy. So give me a second, and I'll bring these guys back. All right, here we go. All right, here's the link. All right, hang in there, guys. All right, there's the link. We bring in iMan. All right. Here we are. All right, sorry about that, guys. And what was I saying? We're talking about play to earn. So yeah, that's going to be an essential piece of Rovi's, and a lot more information will kind of be released in the white paper because it is kind of difficult to explain. Can you hear me okay, man?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if everybody else can hear you. Do the guys spam in the chat. Let us know if you can hear us again.
Yeah.
What the heck? Is Zoom like Google calls now, or like there's like a time limit now, or what?
Yeah, and we're paying for this thing, dude. That's crazy. I got to look into it. Maybe I missed a payment or something.
I guess so, dude.
Like my ETH payment didn't go through or whatever.
Okay, you guys can hear us. Cool. Okay, we're back. So I think we got like another 30-minute timer or something like that. So we're good.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let me launch the bot for the 3-1 NFT, and it should pop, let's say, in around 15 minutes or so. And then as we wait, we can continue chatting, answering some questions, and then I will leave it up to Trey to unbox this thing if you want to. Maybe you want to give it away.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I will, because I know people love the unbox.
Okay,
it's
cool.
definitely dope.
All right, let me get this bot going, and then we can.
And I realize I actually don't want to give this away. It's a Supercharger, so you need all 5 models of Superchargers to get a super boost. We'll just call it, right?
There you go. Yeah.
And so I don't have an A because the models are random. So I've got a couple duplicates of others. I don't know. People can check the OpenSea. I guess I got a few wallets. Never mind. But point is, I know I don't have an A.
It's like, don't give it away, dude.
Yeah,
you're holding on the gold, man. That's so funny. But yeah, you're right, man. Like having all 5 is definitely gonna be a huge value add to the community, right? Like if you can host all that. So
yes. Well, use friends, right? Oh, I guess it's all got to be on the same lot. But yeah, we'll start to game this once you get more of the framework out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one second. It's almost going to pop here.
So you're deploying what exactly? The giveaway bot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, you know the drill. Once the bot's deployed, hit that confetti button. And yeah, man, good luck to everybody. We appreciate everybody who shows up here every week. We love all you guys. You guys are the tits, whatever you want to call yourselves. You guys are great, man. Yeah, hearts in the chat for sure for everybody who shows up here. All the OGs we've been we launched this project I think a few months ago, and it's an ambitious one for sure. Like, we launched this project in the midst of PFP madness, where a lot of people were saying a lot of things like what these PFPs would do.
Yeah.
So we have the task of proving to not just you guys, but everybody else out there what it is these Rovies can do. Like, Will likes to say 3-in-1 NFTs, but I feel like that glances over everybody's head real quickly once he says that, just because like it's kind of hard to understand what the 3-in-1 NFT actually is. But now that we have transporters deploying, Superchargers are next, and then after that, you're going to see your actual Rovies deploying in the world. All of a sudden, it's going to make sense. These are actually 3-in-1 NFTs. You got 3 assets that all individually create value within this metaverse ecosystem, right? So we're on our way, guys. We're doing the damn thing.
I think part of the 3-in-1 is hard to fathom because it's one purchase, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's like, I just look at transactions and I'm like, oh, okay, I got the transaction, but it is 3-in-1 as I see it deployed. Or actually, when I saw you with the opening animation for the transporter to the Supercharger and then the unleash, like, that's when it really got concrete. Like, oh yes, no, I got all this. This is dope.
Yeah, this is 3 separate assets, and it's largely because the Rovies, it's an understandable one, right? It's a character, but like the vessels that the Rovi comes in, I don't think many people have ever purchased an asset that has like functionality to it, right? So it's like it's new, and yeah, we have to do our job to showcase this. So shout out to everybody who's helping us achieve that, especially the testing guild. And yeah, I think we talked about it last week. All you guys are going to get your own unique wearables pretty soon. The design process is underway, right, Willis?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so the bot has popped. Make sure you go to the live chat on the kind of like voice channel section and interact with that bot. Click on the little confetti, and you're in. So what I wanted to do originally was set this up in the giveaway channel, but I guess I did some settings wrong, and I couldn't deploy it there. But so next time it'll be fixed. But so yeah, just interact with that bot there in the live chat, and you're in. So this thing will pop theoretically in 10 minutes if their server ends up working. So yeah, 3-in-1 NFT is up for grabs. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right.
It was so hard not to click that confetti. I was like, oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
No way, Trey.
And Volpixie asked, did the giveaway actually happen from last week? It did.
Yes, it did.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Trey Waters ended up winning Volpixie. It was pure random. Good old bot took, I don't know, like an hour and a half or 2 hours, something like that, to actually pop.
Well, I got a story for you because it was the worst day of the week. Like,
oh yeah, you told me
things
that.
have been difficult.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, and so I was like, I had no sound. I wasn't able to connect. We were having meetings at work, so I couldn't really like jump off to do this. And I was just like, well, this isn't working. That isn't working. And then finally, when everything finished, I scroll up to get caught up on chat, and I was like, what? I won?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Dude, hell yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Good pick me up.
All right, let me.
So there's your testimony, guys. Click that confetti button. You never know. It could be you who wins.
Yeah. Straight up could be you. Just do it.
Yeah, check the pin section. On. Yeah, check the pin section, and you should see the giveaway bot. All right. Hopefully those of you who are members of this community got that poke, and then I guess in the next 10 minutes we're going to see who wins. And I don't know, maybe Trey, you want to unbox right now? You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm down.
Okay, all right, dude. Everybody give Trey your energy so he can unbox a god.
Oh,
God,
all right. We're going all the way to the Rovi. This is going to be 2 unboxings. Yes. All right. That's right.
So he's going to secure himself another transporter, a supercharger, and then the inevitable Rovi. So yeah, let's witness this.
I gotta move this. There we go. This little box out the way. All right, so let's go to the place you need to be. There's a couple things there. I won a Halo forever ago, so don't hate me. I've been lucky.
All right, so here we go. We're going to see a live unboxing. All right, let's see.
Now, everybody. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I haven't been reading the chat, so I'm just kind of reading through what everybody's saying. So yeah, let's talk about what exactly you're seeing here. So for those of you who are new to the Rovies, we're looking at a transporter. So basically, the reason why I keep saying a 3-in-1 NFT is because there's 3 NFTs in one, right? The first NFT you're looking at here is the transporter. This has a specific game function for once it's deployed, and then inside is a supercharger. And then inside,
which there's 5 variants of,
which there's 5 variants, right? A, B, C, D, and E. And then inside is a Rovi, right? And so as you unbox, you are setting the RNG attributes to your Rovi. And so once, like for example, once he unboxes here, you're going to RNG select, and here we are. This is the unboxing. Let's see. I think here you're going to refresh the page. Wait, hold on. It says standby.
Yeah, because it records it. So when this originally happened, I haven't done this for a couple months. Refreshing, I think, lost the original recording. So it takes the moment for your computer resources to record all that. I think it's created on a server and then served up to the front end.
Correct.
Something like that.
Correct. Yeah, and
the Rovi inside is a perfect one, but that is not the actual Rovi. That's a placeholder.
That's correct. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
If I got a perfect one right now, the computer might break and the connection could be lost.
That would be wild, dude. I would actually jump out of my seat for sure.
Yeah.
So I got the almost perfect Rovi. It was 4. It's in a separate wallet, but it's all 4. Of one letter. I think it's 666 or something like that.
Oh, damn.
And then the one number
off. Of course it
was. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Who is staring behind me? Dude, don't say that, man. You're freaking me out. Dude, was there actually somebody behind me? Dude, what the hell, man? Why would you say that? Okay. Whatever.
Made you look.
Oh my God.
Awesome. So one of the other best times I've had watching the show was when you guys did the POAP Rovi giveaway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got to do another one of those. Yeah, because I guess the Pope team ended up developing this giveaway mechanism that has like this like huge suspense added to it, and it was definitely a good time, kind of watching like the countdown of like its bot selecting somebody.
Yeah, it tapped in it. If you're a gambler, like it just hits you right there in that gambling gene, right?
It was so perfect. I would liken it to like racehorse betting.
Yeah.
Where it just like keeps going down. If somebody goes ahead, I'm like, oh, I'm out. No, wait, I'm in.
Yeah.
That spirit was there for sure. Like I felt it. So we definitely need to do another one. And just to continue, like, why are we so selective on, who can get these POAPs, right? We need to continue to add value to these POAPs over time.
Exactly.
Because it's such a good tool, and we can do a lot with these POAPs, right? Like, and that's just one example of it. And yeah, it's like I feel like the POAP madness hasn't been like properly utilized yet, but there's good ideas out there how to actually like really leverage the POAPs.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, the big problem is like, how do you identify who like the true supporters are within like this POAP pool as opposed to like the cartel? So I think we're taking those first steps, right? To like keep the cartel out, keep the core community in, and then you can add on like hardcore value to these POAPs, At least that's how I think of it.
Freaking popes.
So I got a question. How long should I wait? Do you think I should refresh? Or should I still be
actually
waiting?
Go to your inventory and then you should see the asset there.
Oh, you said inventory.
Or yeah, my assets. Yeah, sorry. I meant my assets, yeah.
All
there
right.
it is. All right.
So just a heads up, I know you got to wait a long time for that original animation, but it's worth it. I did it on another one and waited, but just for the sake of the call. So that's really what I got in there.
All right.
There he is. Dude, I love that fucking.
Oh, sorry.
I'm already liking it.
All right. So here we go, community. We're doing it.
All right. So now he's running the action of selecting the RNG stats. And so this will determine like what percentage overall quality of the Rovi. And so you got, it looks like the AI codex is 81,533. So
okay, not perfect. That's okay. It looks pretty.
I mean, it looks pretty badass, dude. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
dude, that is a good one, dude. That's a clean Rovi, dude. I like that one.
He's going right next to the horse head one.
Yeah.
He looks like a 70s Rovi, dude.
A 70s?
He's got like he's got bell bottoms on, dude. I love
it. Nice. Ding dong. Ding.
He's a disco Rovi, dude. That's so cool.
Green Chauffeur is saying this is a 44% one.
Thank you.
It's lit.
Yeah, go to your my assets again, and then we'll take a look at it.
All right, the community, this was all for you because I really was not about doing this until they brought it up. And just heads up, there's usually a placeholder for the community, so just kind of refresh your screens to see the real Rovi.
Okay, so 44%.
Right, so, there's whoa.
So okay, battery 73%, strength 79. We got defense 42 and intellect 25. All right, that's pretty good. That's a good roll.
Respectable for sure.
Monster. So Green Trooper asked not too long ago, I was like, when are we gonna have discussions about like the battle utility to these Rovis? We're gonna have these discussions soon because especially as the sooner we get to like the rollout of the gameplay itself, we're gonna have these like deep discussions on like what to expect from like the Rovi performance within the like PvE and PvP game.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
If you have a minute, do you want to just kind of quickly say what this stuff is for so people know, or
yeah, but let me interrupt you for 1 second, Trey Waters. We have a winner. It's good old Swooty.
Fucking Swooty, dude. Congrats, dude.
Yes.
He's sweet.
Another one, dude. Another one guy who deserves so much,
Yeah, he's
Swooty.
Yeah, man.
The founder of Swooty Land.
Yes. Shout out to Swooty Land for sure.
Dang. That's, man, luck. He comes in here like Batman, sweeps this one, dude. We're going to have Swooty live on box. Here it is. Here's the pressure.
Yeah. Swooty Land. One more for Swooty Land. Yeah. Swooty Land just got that much more powerful, dude.
Yeah, and in addition, so these giveaways are a very rare type of Rovi. There's the star Rovis. So there's only 100 of them. I think right now in circulation there's like maybe 50 or 60 or so. So we got 40 more weeks of star Rovis to give away.
Wow.
Dang.
Nice.
So we're at like the happening point or something, basically. Yeah. The Rovi happening happened like a couple months ago. I don't know. Like whenever we got rid of 50 stars, that was our Rovi happening.
Oh, dang.
That's awesome.
All right,
what's all this?
Swooty's showing his, he's flexing his whale arms.
Holy. Yeah. Holy.
Now, the only thing I got to say, though, is there's no like batch. So unfortunately, Swooty, I think, has to click on all.
Yeah,
these.
He does.
And he's awesome. He does it, but whoa.
Dang. All right. So yeah, that's the show for today. So Trey, you're asking. It's like, what is everything going to do here? So battery's about the what's the word? What's the efficient word here? Is how often you can battle before you have to actually recharge, right? So.
I think efficiency is the word. Like efficiency. You just said it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like your efficiency as a Rovi. Like, how many battles can you sustain before you actually have to visit one of these superchargers, right?
Yeah, that's right. And so, which is a big deal. So, if you got a bad roll, there's still a chance that while you play the game, you can affect these stats with the accessories that you put onto your Rovi. So, all these these bad rolls, like you still want to play with your Rovi because you can amend some of these like bad rolls. And then as you progress and you upgrade your Rovi, you are improving its overall stats. So right now, I think the highest one we've seen has been like a 59 or a 60%. And so everyone has to play the game in order to improve their Rovi to its max. And so this is sort of like a game design component where we have to kind of throttle and manage how long it takes to actually create a perfect Rovi or get your perfect Rovi. So most people obviously will never get 100%, but they'll come very close to it. And all that means is that on average, you're going to battle and you're going to win pretty, relatively often, to the point where, there's a high chance you're going to win, right? But just because you have a perfect Rovi, even if out of 100%, you're not always going to win. So that's part of like balancing the game. So so if someone's AFK, you're going to win those battles all day, right? So you can't just like automate this thing. And there's a lot of legal reasons why you can't automate it, right? So anyway, talking about strength. Strength is the amount of damage. It's like a damage per second, right? So you're able to deal a little bit more damage in general if you have a high strength. And defense is obviously defense. And then intellect is a function of sort of like your overall like output. And so higher intellect gives you a little boost on defense, battery, and strength. And so it's like an overall kind of like...
We kind of left that as like an arbitrary like statistic or like attribute as well, to the point where like I think we can continually add more like application for Rovi throughout in the future, to where the intellect of your Rovi has like an impact on these future applications for it.
Yeah.
Who knows, dude? Maybe we'll get artificial intelligence embedded into your Rovi in the future. And like, depending on how much intellect your Rovi has, like depends on, how automated your Rovi can be in the future or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right. Well, but that's why we incorporated it.
And that could be like another metaverse where everything's AI, right? So you just put your Rovi in another metaverse. It's not GCL, and then it's all AI.
Dude, I have some sick thoughts about that, like the AI metaverse.
Yes.
Like it's so gross, you could potentially have like an infinite amount of like replicants of your own like intelligence in the metaverse, right? Like that could happen in the future, right? But we start with the Rovis first to understand like what the implications of that means, right? So the intellect is going to have like direct game influence for sure, but whenever we have these initial conversations, it's like that's the what's the word I'm looking for? That's the X factor, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and if you played any RPG game, like there's always a stat called intellect, and it's always like different for different games. And so yeah, this is sort of like a fungible like type of attribute, like as far as its application to the game. But so far, like that's what we have in terms of like the design. And so once we actually get people, the Testers Guild, to actually test the battle mechanics, that will help us balance the game, and then from there, we'll be able to kind of manage that whole tokenomic ecosystem so that the play to earn economy is sustainable. And ultimately, that's the whole point of like tokenomics, is sustainability.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the last thing on the 44%, just so everybody knows, that gets up to 100% if you have it. Already said that through gameplay. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a combination, you were saying, of these like loot tokens or cores plus some game.
That's correct. Yeah. So the metal hedrons is the little cube thing, and then the power cores are the sphere-looking devices. And so to earn them, you have to play the PvE version of the game, so the player versus environment. And so as you're playing that game, you are collecting these hedrons and these power cores. And so you're going to have to go to the reinforcer meta in order to upgrade your Rovi. And so you can imagine that someone, a whale like Swooty, has like this horde of like Rovis who other people are playing with his Rovis, amassing these metal hedrons. And these, remember, are all 1155 NFTs. So you can just purchase them on the open market if people have actually mined them, or you could just jump into the game and mine them yourself. So yeah, man, this is exciting, and we've taken like the first initial steps in deploying these NFTs, and today we're going to be deploying the Superchargers. So That's a quick summary of today's discussion. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. Congratulations to Swooty. Thank you, Trey. Iron Man, as
You're
always.
welcome.
We will be back.
Heat up, bro, for sure. We're gonna have to create a wearable or something like yeah, for sure, like a battery pack for that specific.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
100%, man. Oh,
that's funny. What is that? What number is that? Is that 0? Holy 0%.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out. Like, your Rovi probably would just like stand there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what 0% actually means in the game.
It truly is a random number generator.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about, guys. 8 out of 1,000, basically 0%. Yep. Talk about a bad roll, but that's what happens, I guess. All right.
Okay, guys.
Yep, that's it. That's it, guys. We will see you same time next week. I appreciate you guys joining. And yeah, we'll talk again. Thank you.
Peace.
Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Sweet.
All right, Trey. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love it always. Keep the videos